Mode select.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Raise King!
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Anti-mage.
Dire team back.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Game 2 of the season opener for Season 8 between Team Welfare and Team Daedalus. Game 1 going to Team Welfare pretty handily there. I mean, lots of early team fight and really dominant performance by them. MVP going out to Caesar. Really well played on the silencer, managing to steal so much intelligence and, great picks. And I don't even know what to say, honestly. Like, they just rolled over Daedalus. It was really unfortunate for them because they had so much potential coming from late, and it would have been great to see, but just not able to get it done. Right off the bat, we have Silencer being banned by Welfare themselves, and they've done it in the past, and that just proves they want to shake up the lineup here. And Anti-Mage and Undying, right there, they never play that at all, honestly. Anti-Mage, I don't think I've ever seen them play a game of Anti-Mage since I've been casting them, and Anti-Mage is such a strong carry. Whether you like him or not, he can win games, and it really comes down to the item choice to be 6 slotted. And even then, like, selling items back and forth, because he just farms so well. Just blinking around the jungle, blinking around the map. Once you get TP boots on him, he can split push, he can team fight, he can do whatever he wants. So, great pickup for them, and be interesting to see if they put it on Jeff or if Kiko's going to go back to the carry side. As for Team Daedalus, Earthshaker being picked up as well as Wraith King, so they're going to mix up the lineup. That's a little bit of tank from Wraith King, and Earthshaker gets tanky himself, but really it's the stuns you're going to look out for Earthshaker, and that's some early team fight for them, throwing out fissures, and if Earthshaker gets a quick blink dagger, that's a destructive team for sure. And against a tombstone from Undying,
10 seconds remaining.
that's a lot of Echo Slam damage, so great counter pick to that. But
5 seconds remaining.
with the tombstone being laid down, Earthshaker's going to really have to stay in the back so he's able to blink in. Otherwise, it's going to prove pretty difficult for him to jump in and get off a real good Echo Slam fissure and really kind of contribute large to a team fight. Spiritbreaker being banned out from Welfare, which is interesting. I mean, Spiritbreaker did charge around the map and pick off some key heroes, but I don't think it was really like the be-all end-all for Daedalus. It wasn't proving super useful to them. It's just the shutdown and the void and the gyro that really took away anything from Daedalus. So, I mean, they just don't want to deal with it, I suppose. It's up to Welfare. Honestly, they had such a great early game in game one. So, it's really up to them. They don't want the Anti-Mage to really have any sort of trouble here farming, and Spiritbreaker can do that. It'd be interesting to see if we saw Bloodseeker being picked up. I mean, that right there takes away any sort of farm when he's low, and Anti-Mage is definitely known to be squishy in the early game, does not have a great time. Broodmother being picked up for Daedalus, so there's some push coming out and really shaking up the lineup altogether, which is great to see. I mean, it coming out for new seasons and, heading into obviously the biggest tournament TI, you really want to see what kind of lineups match up well together and, tend to groove with certain lanes or certain ultimate combos. It's really great to see, so complete mix-up of lineups, and even for Welfare, Io coming out, which is definitely strange to see. I wonder if it'll be Geo playing on the Io. He's plays such a great support. Disruptor last game was really on point, throwing down great static storms, great glimpses. It's such a strong ability to have, just pulling away the Spirit Breaker, have you, or any other cores for that matter, just to keep chasing down kills. So really interesting to see if Io does get snagged up by Geo. Witch Doctor being picked out here, and most likely going to go on Ghost or Runion for the supports here. Either the Earthshaker or the Witch Doctor, and this is completely new, and it's really great to see. Witch Doctor is a great hero to have as a support. Has the stun, has the heal, and you know what? He can do quite a ton of damage if he wants to. He can just turn around, throw out a Maledict, throw out his beautiful stick of death and start taking down heroes, especially if he gets out the Aghanim Scepter. That's a lot of physical damage to these carries that, they protect themselves. Tiny is great against the physical damage, but Anti-Mage not so much. He goes down pretty quick. It's really just the spell shield that takes away any sort of, dominant kills from the Earthshaker, or if Broodmother picks up, let's say, a Dagon build, he should be okay. And once he gets a Manta online, he's not really going to have to worry about anything. So Witch Doctor is a great pickup if you manage to get off a silence on Anti-Mage before the Manta. Tiny coming out for Welfare, so that's a lot of push and a lot of carry. Anti-Mage and Tiny both are so good in the late game. That's push as well as team fight, and obviously Rat coming out from the Anti-Mage, so it's quite the lineup here. Undying with so much sustain and so much harass in combination with a Tiny stun, Avalanche toss. I wonder how these lanes are going to prove. I mean, Anti-Mage is most likely going to go in the safe lane, and since they're on the Dire, so that's going to be top. Tiny maybe mid. That could happen. I've seen Tiny mid when I first started playing. It was Tiny mid. You want that 6 online. You don't usually level it until a little bit later when you're getting close to 11. But I mean, if you can level really quick and get a little bit of farm, obviously you're not going to get too much because he's such a slow right-clicking carry in the beginning that he gets kind of pushed out from any sort of mid. And, you know, Team Daedalus still hasn't really revealed that yet. Broodmother most likely going to be in the off lane with the Wraith King, Earthshaker, Witch Doctor combo, and that's going to be a pretty annihilating combo in conjunction with the 3 stuns and a little bit of tank and, you know, lots of damage coming out from those 3. So be on the lookout for kind of quick early kills. Terrorblade coming out. That is their carry for sure. And they needed push even on top of this Broodmother because Tiny will win a game on push. And, you know, Broodmother is definitely a difficult hero to go up against, especially in the early game. But once you start picking out some sentries, buy a couple dusts, even buy a gem if you need to, you can really shut her down. She just keeps getting jumped on. They do have decent stuns, a little bit of slow from Tombstone as well as Io. And, yeah, it's difficult to kind of survive against this lineup. But now that they have Terrorblade on the push, this is going to be a rat back and forth with the Broodmother and Terrorblade. And it's going to be really difficult for them to kind of stay control. So, although Game 1 looked to prove to be a lot of back and forth in the early game, Welfare taking complete control of the game. And if they do this again, Anti-Mage is going to have so much farm, and Tiny's going to, if he goes Blink Dagger, or even if he just does rush the Aghanim Scepter to get his huge branch out, it's going to be really hard for Team Daedalus to come back. Terrorblade needs his farm, and he doesn't need to go Radiance, but he needs to get his farm to get a Manta to be able to start pushing, maybe some Scotty to, you know, tank up and get some right click in. But he does need the farm. He can go for Zandunyasha if he wants to, but they're going to want the push for sure with this Broodmother conjunction. Wraith King obviously going to be a huge part of this team fight with the tank. And like I said, if Earthshaker gets out a huge blink with the Fissure and Echo Slam, that's a lot of damage. And that will be a quick dead Io, so that's a lot of cleanup. And the Io Tiny combo, as everybody's seen now, if you take that combo out really quick, Tiny's not as great as a pusher in the mid game until he gets some items, really. So there's a lot of back and forth trading here between the talks of this draft, but I really believe it's going to be who gets their first early jump. Because if we see a real quick increase in gold and XP for Team Welfare, they're really just going to take control of this game. Because once you get a little bit of farm on Tiny, he's really hard to take down, first and foremost. And second of all, he just has so much push. Eventually, it's just so hard to take him out, especially with the Io. Anti-Mage as well, you know, he's just going to do his own thing and farm. And meanwhile, we have Dazzle being picked up at the end there with the Undying. And that's sustain, that's survivability. And it's tank, really. I mean, they're not going to be able to kill this Anti-Mage or the Tiny. They don't have Dunk. They don't have the Axe coming. And they just won't be able to blow them up so well. So, definitely interesting drafts here coming out for both teams. And, you know, it's interesting. A lot of push, obviously, for both teams. Anti-Mage as well as Tiny. And the Broodmother as well as the Terrorblade. So, on the Dire side, we have Team Welfare running Jeff on the Anti-Mage farming safe lane. We have Caesar on the Dazzle. Kiko running Tiny, most likely going mid, I believe. Sinister probably going bottom here on the Undying. And where am I missing? Yes, of course. How could I forget their captain? Geo running on the new pick of Io. Gonna be definitely an interesting game to see this. And we have Ghost running mid on the Broodmother. We have Laser Phaser running on the Wraith King. Going bottom, we have Arunian running on the Witch Doctor, Terrorblade being picked up by Triple B, and I'm Bad Kill Me, swapping roles here from the Faceless Void to the Earthshaker, chilling out in Fountain. So definitely going to be an interesting game, and look at the river here, Laser Phaser playing pretty troublesome, has picked up a Belt of Strength, but it's not going to be that much tank to survive against this kind of early game here in the river. Going to be a quick gank. Kiko throwing out an avalanche or Geo jumping on top of him as well. So they're just probably going to stay safe here. And yeah, Laser Phaser's just going to elect to stay back and, you know, play it safe. And it should be Triple B picking up this free rune on bottom. Mr. Sinister's not really going to want to go on top of that with the Witch Doctor, so it's going to be really 1-for-1, and Geo actually might pick up this rune to get that early bottle online. And he does, so yeah, bottle being picked up right away. That's going to be in conjunction with Kiko, and they might actually take up mid here in the dual lane combo, and it's not like that's never been seen before. And you know, if they get a quick sentry, which they already have on Geo, this Broodmother's going to have a rough time. And Ghost kind of being blown up on the Abaddon, so interesting to see him get a little bit of a changeover role here. See what he can do on the mid lane. Up top here, Laser Phaser trying to block whatever creep he can, and you know, it's going to be a hard lane. Anti-Mage against the Wraith King. Usually Anti-Mage comes out on top of that, draining all of his mana and not being able to get the classic Requiem, the reincarnation. And you know, that's the tank that they needed, but it's not the tank that they're going to get if he doesn't have any mana. On bottom, it's Triple B and Arunian going up against Sinister, and Sinister's throwing out some good decays here. Already 2 on Arunian, and God, it's no strength at all. Witch Doctor's great to harass. It's like 56 damage coming out from his support is quite a bit, especially early on, but if he keeps stacking on these DKs for Sinister, he'll be fine. There's no way that they're going to be able to bring him down. He might level 1 into Tombstone come level 2 here just as survivability, or if he wants to kind of start rushing and take them down. Terrorblade, not the tankiest of heroes either, so great pickup for Sinister here. Running the Undying, definitely going to be interesting to see. Mid, we have the rotation. We have Geo still staying with Kiko, and you know, this should be even more farm for Kiko, where he wouldn't get it normally in the first place, especially against a Broodmother. Being able to harass up, pick up some spiders, and ultimately push a lane really hard, but with Geo in the midst, it's going to prove difficult for sure. And just going to trade a little bit of hits back and forth. Kiko running a little low, but they're going to turn right back on top of her. And Geo, has he already used the sentry? I don't see it anywhere on the map. Oh, it's on Tiny. Okay, so Kiko has the sentry. And he's running pretty low. And Ghost is going to want to dive this. And that will be first blood for the Broodmother on Tiny. She does actually have a little bit of mana here for the spawn Spiderlings and manages to get off a little bit of damage on Tiny. And picks up the first blood, doesn't go down. And Geo just going to have to, you know, keep Kiko a little bit more safe there. I thought that was going to be a pickup on Ghost for sure, but turned right back on Tiny. And definitely a great pickup. Another death going out that I unfortunately missed, that was... Oh, Witch Doctor was just killed by the Dire. So, first blood still going to Broodmother. And Jeff just going to sit comfortably up top, farming away. They have rotated I'm Bad Kill Me on the Earthshaker up top. And that's really going to start to control this Anti-Mage with the stun. And just really the lane presence. That's a double stun that Anti-Mage just really doesn't want to go up against. Considering that he has Spell Shield, he's probably not going to level it for a little while unless he just kind of wants a, you know, just a secure little point for it, just for survivability. But even then, he does not have a lot of hit points, so he's going to have to play a lot safer. Managing to get decent farm here, though, sitting at 7 and 2, but it's really the Tiny taking over the farm here. And even though he did go down on mid, they throw out the sentry, does miss on the Avalanche here, and Ghost probably would have went down had he hit that stun. So, unfortunate timing there for Kiko, and Ghost is going to be okay. Throws out a sentry of his own, and he's going to spot it out. And that's going to be the only sentry that they have. So, great pickup for Ghost, and he's going to be able to start to take control of this lane a little bit. Anti-Mage, 10 and 2 up top. Bottom, Undying. You know, he throws out the Tombstone, and he's going to go hard on Triple B, running pretty low on mana, and he's not going to have Metamorphosis or any sort of... He doesn't have Reflection either, and Arunian running really low. Goes down to the zombie, so that will be a kill, and that's going to be a double kill for Sinister. Maledict probably won't bring him down, since I think it's only level 2 only level 1 Maledict, so yeah, he's going to be fine. And yeah, quick double pickup there for Undying, and that's really going to prove to be a great strong offlane against this farming Terrorblade. And that's what you need. You do not want a Terrorblade to start running out of control, because right then it's going to be game over, and there's no way they're going to be able to come back on it. And, you know, it's going to be difficult, because if they start keying up on this Terrorblade, I mean, they can just leave Undying to himself, and he can just keep going on the Terrorblade if he starts farming up. He's already hit at 6. And they'll just start focusing Anti-Mage to get all the farm, because Tiny's going to start rotating with Isle. He doesn't need to farm up by himself. Oh, Laser Phaser running really low here. Does have a stun. But Jeff does manage to get the kill just before he tosses out. Caesar running really low. Does he have a grave? He does. And I'm Bad Kill Me is going to chase after him, but he's running low pretty himself. And Jeff is going to start to chase down this kill. He needs one more hit, 2 maybe, and that's going to be a double kill on Jeff. So Anti-Mage, more of a farm hero, not really a good kill hero, but manages to pick off 2 up top. And that's definitely a great steal for him, sitting at 700 gold. So he's going straight for power treads right off. Right, real quick and hurry. And Laser Phaser coming, TPing right back in. Manages to get off the Wraith Blast, but really Jeff's going to be fine. Blinks away, and that should be the end of that. Ghost already having level 6 is going to go hard on Kiko, doing quite a bit of damage. One more right click and spawn Spiderlings would kill him, but throws out the Avalanche. I think he's probably dead anyway. He's going to chase hard on this, needs one more. Manages to get the kill, but Ghost might be dead on the follow. They do not have a sentry ward down, and Geo's going to push real hard with these little Wisplings, but that's not going to pick off any sort of kill. A little unfortunate. Tiny actually being zoned out quite well, so Broodmother running on the mid is proving to be quite worth it here for Team Daedalus. And Anti-Mage actually quite low here, but he's going to be just fine, blinking away from that fissure stun. And actually, Shaker blocked himself out there, so a little unfortunate. Laser Phaser, claritying up. He's going straight for Power Treads. It's interesting to see on a Wraith King build every single time, whether he wants to go the early armlet or if he wants to opt out and go for the blink. I do prefer the blink. It's great initiation, and it's something they probably need. With Io being able to jump around the map with anybody he wants, as well as just the tether with the move speed, it's fine itself. Anti-Mage is going to blink away, and Undying throwing out a Tombstone, there's not going to be any follow-up. So if Laser Phaser does manage to get a Blink Dagger, that will prove quite useful. Jeff running pretty low here, but will be able to blink away. Grave just in case from Caesar. And Anti-Mage actually having a rough time after this Earthshaker. And this is going to be a quick double kill for Sinister on bottom. Just picked off the edge of it, and Witch Doctor going down there. It's going to be rough against this Undying. He's already has 4 kills under his belt. Already has Mana Boots. Has picked up 1k gold. And Broodmother actually picking out Io here. So Geo going down. And Ghost playing quite well here. Even with the sentry trouble, she's managing to pick off the sentries of her own. And she's gone hard on Kiko twice now, I've seen. And does manage to pick up Geo as well. And, you know, she's going to start running pretty good. She doesn't have a lot of farm under her belt, only sitting at 10 and 0. But check out the net worth. She's actually at 2,400, so right behind Undying, who's picked up now 4 kills, obviously. But Anti-Mage did have quite a comfortable time farming just before the Earthshaker showed up, sitting at 2,500. So she's almost second in net worth, and it's quite a big deal, especially against a dual lane mid. And she's picked off 3 kills, so doing quite well for herself. Back up top here, Jeff, you know, he does have power treads already, so he's going to start to have a little bit better of a time farming, and it will prove difficult for Team Daedalus to really control this Anti-Mage, because most Anti-Mages are going to go for that Battle Fury and jump into the jungle, and you're not going to be able to find him. He's going to be blinking around the map, and I talked about Laser Phaser picking up a Blink Dagger, but if he doesn't, they don't have a ton of initiation, and it will really prove difficult to find this Anti-Mage in any sort of way, whether it be lane or the jungle. And actually gone on hard here. Lots of stuns coming out, but he's going to manage to just walk out. Does pick up the 1 point in the spell shield, so we'll protect him a little bit longer here. And with the poor man's shield, to be able to tank up, it's really Caesar just really holding a lot of control for him. But Caesar really doesn't have any mana to kind of sustain for him any longer. So if Anti-Mage does pick up a Battle Fury soon, look for him to jump right back into the jungle. Back on mid here, Ghost just having a heck of a time. You know, couple last hits for the farm. He's going to maybe start going for the spiders. Has 3 points in it, as well as his web. So, you know, he's going to want to start pushing mid probably right away here. And with the power treads pick up, and he's going hard on Kiko again. And overcharge coming out from Geo, and they turn right back on Ghost. They have thrown down the sentry, but they don't know where he is. Does throw off the toss, so Salve does get expended on Brood, but I don't think they're going to be able to pick him off. The sentry just not in the perfect vision here for this other. So Brood will have a little bit of a tough time if she wants to keep diving in on this, but will regen from her web anyway, so should be okay. Down on bottom, Tombstone going out again, and Arunian is most likely going to die really quick. Couple stacks of decay on him, zombies chasing him down. That's 6 stacks of zombies, and this is a mega kill for Sinister. Doing a ton of work down on bottom here. I mean, this scenario is just not the one that Team Daedalus had in mind. They wanted this farming Terrorblade to have, you know, a comfortable time, and you know Undying is going to go down in that off lane. It's just, there's no real other way that he's going to go, and he's just, it's going to be really difficult for them to kind of really come back against this if Sinister just sticks down here in the off lane. He's not going to, you know, start rotating around the map like any other hero would. And Ghost actually diving real quick here on Geo on mid. It's going to prove that he's not going to pick up any kills. Kiko's still pretty low. Salves up, tosses off the Avalanche, and I think Ghost is going to look to get back and play it safe. But yeah, back to the Terrorblade here. So many stacks of decay. He's just so squishy. 300 health. That's all he has with the stacks. And Undying sitting at over 1,200. And he's going straight for mech. He almost has it. He's just the recipe away. And already has the Arcane Boot. If he gets Guardian Greaves under 20 minutes, that's a tanky team. And Undying, eventually, like, he's just going to ball out of control, whether he wants to go for the Blade Mail or, you know, maybe even Pipe for that Earthshaker. Whatever he wants to go, really. It's going to be a lot of sustain and tank. And this is exactly the lane that any Undying really wants. And in a team match, especially a Game 2 deciding match here, Sinister doing quite well. And yeah, that will be a mechanism pickup. Ghost falling pretty low here. Kiko out of mana, but they're going to look to chase this down perhaps. Caesar did rotate in, but unable to pick up the kill. And you know, this dueling combo, Geo and Kiko, they've been playing together for I don't know how long, but pretty much every match that we've seen or played against them even. You'd think that this would go a lot better, but they are just unable to tackle this Brood. And Ghost, you know, with a couple of kill pickups, that's 3-0. And yeah, she's actually going to dive on Geo again. So Avalanche is going to come out from Kiko. And Fissure coming out from I'm Bad Kill Me, actually rotating in. Caesar's still back here with full mana, so he needs to throw off a grave on Geo if he does run pretty low, as well as Kiko. But I think better heads prevail here. Wraith King does rotate in, but oh my goodness, they're going to chase down another double kill here for Undying on bottom. And he is running out of control. That's 3 times that just had a double kill. 7-0. For goodness sakes. Sinister just balling out of control. And Undying is just such an annoying hero. You do not want to be up against him. And with this good of a start that he's had, it's going to prove really difficult for this Terrorblade to come online. They're really going to have to really rely on this Brood. And Wraith King, still only with Power Treads, does have Blades of Attack, and, you know, nothing coming in the courier, so he's not got a lot of farm either. Caesar up top with Jeff, and they're going to jump right on top. Bad Kill Me. He's out of mana. He's not going to be able to get anything done, and throws out the ult just to secure the kill, and that's going to be a killing spree for Jeff. And, you know, he hasn't died yet. He's 3-0, so that's a lot of farm coming out from top, too. And Laser Phaser, he's not going to want to go against an Anti-Mage. That's going to be no mana, no time, and he's not going to have his ult here in a couple more clicks, and Jeff's going to start to chase down this kill. He can definitely pick it up, but does not have his ult. This might be a little bit difficult. And, you know, he's just going to blink back, and it will be the Dazzle that gives him a little bit of extra health. Yeah, both are just going to rotate back. And Earthshaker's going to come back up top, thinking that there's some sort of return there on jumping on his best friend, but they're just going to deny the tower instead. Down on bottom, Mr. Sinister stacking up again. And, you know, in the midst of it all, already has the mech, probably on the way to Guardian Greaves, but, you know, he might pick up the drums. This is actually a Blade Mail coming out, so as soon as he gets the Broadsword, that will be a quick Blade Mail. 13 minutes in, Arcane Boots, mech, and Blade Mail almost out. He has had one heck of a time. What net worth? 5,400 at 13 minutes. My goodness, Sinister. You, sir, are a legend on the Undying right now. Back on mid, Geo spawning out a couple wards here. With Kiko, they really need to jump on this Brood, maybe get another rotation. They need to kill her, because she is eventually going to start controlling the map. She does have almost all spawn Spiderlings, and, you know, she will start to rotate and take towers, but Undying right now. Fissure does come out, so TP not going to be able to go out here. Sinister does throw off the ult, but this will be a death. And it's actually Brood that picks up the monster kill streak, so 700 gold going, 700 plus going to Ghost. And that's not the character that you want it on. Brood is not the one you want that gold on at all. And even though it's a full rotation of 4 to pick off that Undying, it is a great pick for the Brood. Mid tower does manage to go down here. Caesar rotating in, so yeah, that's a little bit of tower push that we see from Tiny. And with a combination of toss, and if he wants to get a branch, he's almost at 2k gold, so look for him to go for that point boost to get that Agnum Scepter. Up top, Jeff, all alone. They've completely forgot about him. They've wanted to go on Kiko and Geo on mid constantly, and Undying's been doing so much work that they needed to do something, and they did. But they've rotated on him now, but it might be too little too late. Stun actually does connect here with Witch Doctor. The cast does manage to take him, but he's going to be forced back, but he'll be just fine. He's actually going to rotate in the jungle now. Pretty close to this Battle Fury, only needs just under 700 away from it. And mid, Brood and Triple Bree actually going really hard, but Caesar, with the ult coming out, sunders Brood to keep him alive, and they're going to keep chasing this. Toss going out, they do pick her off. That's a lot of gold going to Tiny, finally managing to take down this Brood. Mech being thrown up from Sinister, and this might be a deep push here. That's both their cores down. And Terrorblade, really just not anything online yet. He's going straight for that Yasha. And once he picks it up, sure he can farm, but he's a little low right now. And that's 3K in net worth, or yeah, 3K net worth that the Anti-Mage is ahead of him. And usually in this kind of lineup, you're going to see a head-to-head Anti-Mage against the Terrorblade for the Rat and push in combination with the Broodmother. But yeah, Jeff just able to get so much more out of this. Does manage to pick up the Claymore now, so that will be Battle Fury at 15 minutes. So really good pickup for him. And he's might just start pushing this too, or go back and farm and try and get 6 slotted as quick as possible. Push going down on mid here, and Sinister's so gosh darn tanky. He's gonna go straight on top of Ghost here. And Witch Doctor in the back, throwing out the ult. But Arunian, you need to be careful here. Geo trying to get ahead of him to get the tether to slow him down. And Kiko is gonna have a stun. Come online here in 3 seconds, but they don't need it. Geo getting a kill of his own. And they're just going to rotate back mid to take this tower. While Jeff is going to take a tower of his own too. And Laserphaser throws out the stun. And he's running pretty low. Gets off a couple crits. So Jeff's still not tanky. But with that blink, just easy getaways for him for sure. And Laserphaser, you need that blink dagger. You need that blink dagger, buddy. You're not going to be able to jump it at all. And even with no silence too. Caesar, only on mana boots, but that's really all he needs. After doing so much work on that silencer, you know, expect great plays to come up from him. And I've already seen a couple saves, and that's going to be Terrorblade going down to Geo again here. And this is going to be full ganks, and Laserphaser, you have no mana, sir. You've already used your ult. Toss coming out. Geo actually getting thrown on Laserphaser, and Anti-Mage is probably going to pick up this kill. Does get the last hit. That's a mega kill streak here for the Anti-Mage. He hasn't gone down yet. That's 5-0-1. And look out, guys. This could be another runaway. Over 10K in net worth for XP, and over 13K in gold. And they're going to chase Arunian as well as Ghost and Unbatted Kill Me. So they're just going to keep chasing down these kills, and why not? I mean, Anti-Mage is going to keep blinking. Doesn't take down Arunian, but it will be Caesar that gets the last hit. And Ghost is just forced all the way back. He's not going to be able to push and farm anymore. They've just taken control of this map. I mean, look at the wards coming out. They've already secured any sort of river vision. They don't even need vision down here on the Mayan Temple. I mean, they're just chasing down these kills. Ghost shows himself throwing off the magic wand, but probably just going to jump right back into base, and you're going to have to start defending your T3 sub 20 minutes. This is strange to see for sure. I mean, Terrorblade and Brood, you're the ones that should be pushing early game. And Kiko does manage to finally pick up his branch, gets that Aghanim Scepter online, and Anti-Mage took control of that top lane completely, and they rotated away from him. Caesar running pretty low, has that Grave, and will manage to TP away. Safe and sound in the fountain. And you know what? Dazzle hasn't even died yet either. And it's 20-4 for Welfare. And Jeff actually does go down to the Witch Doctor. Undying actually taking down Earthshaker too. And Broodmother picking up Geo, so they're going to keep going. Sinister running pretty low. That's a huge pickup as well. Kiko running low too, and that's a Sunder, but manages to get off a quick kill just before he dies. Does pick off the Terrorblade. And Sinister picking up even more. The Tombstone hasn't even been hit yet. Laserphaser running really low. Broodmother running really low, but she's going to manage to escape. Laserphaser with barely anything. And it's 60 health to run back to the fountain. This Wraith King is just, you know, I thought that was going to be a great pickup in this combo with the Earthshaker. And I mean, they did zone out that Anti-Mage, but overall, nothing coming online for this Wraith King. And he has no mana at all to survive and reincarnate. This Anti-Mage is robbing him from everything. And starting to run away with this one, Welfare is 23-8. And yeah, Anti-Mage almost 100 last hits, but he doesn't even need them. It's not great farm for an Anti-Mage, but I wouldn't look at it that way. I look at more of, he took 2 towers on top lane pretty much by himself, and then managed to get a whole bunch of kills on top of it. He's 5-1-4, and now he's gonna jump in the jungle. He's finished his Yasha already, and you know, he said, hey, I'm just gonna sit back. If you're gonna kill me, I need a couple more items, and it's not going to take me long at all, because they have no room to farm here. Laserphaser does pick up his armlet, but I really think he needed that initiation instead. Kiko's got an Invis rune, and really just scouting here. I don't think you want to go on him, but my name Jeff, rotating in, wants to take this Ancient stack first before he gets into any sort of team fight. And Geo's just going to start pushing, does have a Vlad's, and you know, a support IO that gets that kind of farm, you know the game is going well. 2, 2, and 5, so he's been a part of quite a bit of kills here. And yeah, Geo doing really well, really good job here for support. And their stand-in Jeff, really feeling well, like I said before, for Turglow. I mean, really getting so much done, and it's exactly what they need from a player that's standing in. Any team does. To put him on that sort of a carry, especially last game with the Jugs, and really just be so dominant and take control of the whole game. They didn't even use him a ton. He took the racks on bottom, and, you know, now he's an anti-mage taking all the towers up on top. And they're going to start pushing us. T3 already down, so they're going to start taking racks. And Jeff just focusing on Laser Phaser. Witch Doctor getting off a great ult, but does get taken down. Tiny actually finishing him off. Buys back. Terrorblade going Metamorphosis, but not throwing out really anything. He just can't jump on him. Unbad Kill Me does manage to get off an Echo Slam, but does pretty much no damage to them. Ghost wants to do something, but they're all healed up. That's Mech coming out from the Undying, and there's no way they're going to be able to stay alive against them. Blade Mill going out too, and My Name Jeff running pretty low and just going to escape with the Grave on. And they want to chase him down, but that will be a dead Terrorblade to the Anti-Mage. And Ghost finally picked off too. Dazzle getting killing spree with a couple of those Shallow Waves. Shadow Waves, and this is going to be a free racks for them. Witch Doctor buying back before, but he's not going to want to jump in on top of this. And Laser Phaser, already used your ult, bud. You're not going to get in anytime soon. And this is going to be a racks. Buyback coming from Brood, and they're going to start chasing kills. This is going to head straight up to Fountain. 4 up here, and this is going to be a lot of stuns coming from Bad Kill Me, Laser Phaser, and Arunian. But they turn right back on him. Caesar running pretty low and does die. Ghost running pretty low as well. Jeff not wanting to jump in a fountain quite yet. But Undying picking off the Earthshaker. Tiny picking off the Wraith King. And, yeah. It's pretty much over. This is going to be game 2. That's our racks in 20 minutes. And, I mean, yeah, never count on a Terrorblade, never count on a Brood. They can push back. But they don't have the items for it. Brood has a Vlad's. Terrorblade only has a Yasha. Anti-Mage is starting to farm up. Kiko's already got his branch online, and their supports are doing so much work. I mean, Sinister is really keeping control of this whole game. And, I mean, Caesar was the all-star last game, but Sinister dominating performance solo on bottom, really taking control of Terrorblade and pretty much making him his puppet. Terrorblade did everything that Sinister wanted him to do. He pushed him out of lane, got killed, and he's not going to be able to come back from this. There's just no way that this Terrorblade's going to be able to push back. He just does not have any farm, and there's no way he can farm. And meanwhile, Jeff's going to look down on bottom and say, hey, there's one more T2 standing. I need a little bit more gold. I have my Basher. I want to finish something else like Manta. So he's going to start pushing this, and there's no way they're going to put up any sort of defense here. They do manage to jump on Kiko, and Ghost is going to go pretty hard on him, but he's blocked by his own fissure from the Earthshaker. Sinister coming up and meching, and Witch Doctor getting off a great ult here on Kiko, actually. But the Tombstone, look how much damage it's doing. You don't really realize it until it's too late. And Undying picking up the Earthshaker on the back. Arunian's going to fall to Undying as well. Laser Phaser finally using a Reincarnate for good use. And Kiko running so... He does finally manage to bring down Kiko from the little edge of the Wraith Blast. But goes down himself. And Geo manages to get that kill. That will be a team wipe. There's not going to be any more buybacks from them. And look at these charts. I mean, a little bit of a blip. And then done. And that's GG called, and that's going to be game 2. Team Welfare, dominant performance from them, and completely wiping Team Daedalus off the map. Great season opener for them. This is just the way they wanted to kickstart their own season after losing in the semifinals. And, you know, couple of new drafts, and something that you don't really see too much. I apologize, we have seen the Anti-Mage before. Thank you, Armpit. Thank you for pointing that out. But, yeah, it's just so dominant, especially on a stand-in. It's great to see. And putting up a last little bit of defense here. A lot of damage coming up from Earthshaker, but too little, too late. And yeah, they're just going to feed a couple kills here to the cores. Doing what they can. Geo's so close, and he does actually go down. Undying picking up the Witch Doctor, but yeah, this is the last little fun hurrah of Dota. And Wraith King going down again. They do manage to find Ghost with the Sentry. And that's another team wipe. Killing spree for the Anti-Mage. And Team Welfare, congratulations. Really taking control of this game by the balls. Like, dominant performance from them. It's great to see this, especially as a season opener. Really well played. The Tiny IO didn't look so good on mid. It wasn't going great. I thought Brood was really going to be able to take some towers. But Anti-Mage really taking control of top lane and Undying, just the MVP of this game. 14-2 and 15, just a dominant performance from him. Thanks everybody for coming out and watching on the Twitch, and toss us a follow on Twitch, or go follow me at SubZeroDota on Twitter. And thanks for sticking around. Great team opening for Team Welfare, and can't wait to come back next week. Thanks everybody, and good luck on your amazing Dota nights. Well played.